Hello, folks. Welcome to Scratch the Surface. I'm EJ Scott. Today, my guest is John Timothy. John Timothy was my improv teacher at UCB, my most recent teacher for level 4 and in New York. Before I talk about what we talked about, I want to give myself a plug. Check me out on the Twitter at EJ Scott and the podcast at EJ Podcast. I'm on Instagram, EJ Scott 1106. You can see all sorts of puppy pictures on there. I have a website, ejscott.com. I'm raising money for charity. Go to crowdrise.com/7on7 for lots of really important charities that are looking for some donations. And I ran 12 marathons in 12 states in 2012, blindfolded, and had a documentary made about it called Running Blind that you can find on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon. You can find digital copies of it. For $2 or $3, you could rent it or buy it. Please check it out. You'll be happy you did. I am losing my eyesight to an eye disease called choroideremia. That's why I ran those. And I raised money for charity while doing it. And it runs in my family. My grandfather was blind. I have a brother and nephews that have it. And I am legally blind right now. And so please check that out. Trying to get the word out about this important cause. Okay. So I had John over and we talked about a bunch of stuff. Obviously, we talked about improv and comedy, teaching at UCB. There was a weird controversy at UCB about the grading system there. We talked about that a little bit. Talked about growing up in Indiana. He comes from a family of doctors. We talk about being the odd improviser in a family of doctors. He talked about politics. He made a mockumentary political film. What else we talk? We talked about Japan and learning Japanese. Trying to get a job in comedy, dating, therapy. We covered a lot of ground. We solved a lot of problems. So it's important that you listen to this podcast. February 21st, 2017. Enjoy my talk with John Timothy. Hi, John.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing really well.
Thanks for coming over.
Thank you for having me.
Have you done podcasts before?
One or two, yeah.
A couple?
Yeah, I mean, they vary from just being myself and talking about my life to playing a tree. Or, just really, whole wide varieties.
You're going to play a tree.
Oh, good. I'm glad I prepped then.
So you're all set.
Yeah.
No, this will be pretty cash.
Sweet.
This will be pretty cash. What'd you do today?
What did I do today? Oh boy. Well, I had a meeting with my buddy. We made a movie last year.
What movie?
It's called The Third Party, and it's a mockumentary comedy about third-party presidential candidates. So we started writing it like 2.5 years ago. Started shooting it about a year ago, and had the first chunk of it released like a week before the election. It's super fun, but I don't know if you noticed this, but the election didn't really turn out the way that a lot of people had maybe hoped it had.
How so?
Well, I mean, I don't mean that. It's. I'm still confused about it, but
Yeah.
some people wish it had gone another way, and so our comedy film about the kind of like inherent nobility of the third party presidential candidate was really distasteful there for like that week after.
Okay.
People really were not like Jill Stein is actually in it, and like that week or two after, people were like looking for anyone to blame, and you were just kind of like, oh boy.
So it wasn't number one at the box office.
Did not crack
Is that what you're
the
saying?
box office. Yeah, I mean, I think Harry Potter still won the week, but I mean, I like to think we gave him a run.
Is it available for people to see?
Yeah, the first 20 minutes is up online. You can go to thirdparty.tv and check it out. And then we've got the rest of the film, but we kind of held it back because once the election was over and like we hadn't released the rest, that was kind of our hard deadline. So we're like, well, let's submit it to festivals then. And they don't like it if it's up like online already.
I see.
So we just kind of left that as a little teaser.
Okay.
And then, in a month or so, it'll all be online regardless. So
Okay. You think you'll do an iTunes or something?
I think so, yeah. Or maybe just keep it all on YouTube and just, give it to the people,
God bless you.
I mean, wow. Yeah.
Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Do you want to do more of that? Like more
I
writing,
think so.
directing
Yeah,
stuff?
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I love improv, love it to death.
Sure.
But you do it for, boy, I think like 15 years now at this point.
Yeah.
And like at a certain point, you're like, man, I wish I had something to like show other people.
Right.
Like
Improv is kind of once you
it's
do it,
so-
it's gone.
and that's what's like beautiful about it, and it's
Yeah.
also what's like.
It's like a 30-minute Snapchat.
Yeah,
So it
it could be
disappears.
the best 30-minute Snapchat you ever had.
Yeah.
But when someone's like, "Oh, cool, I'd love to give you money for something," and you're like, "Oh boy, well, come see my show in a basement." Even odds it'll be good, but no promises.
You never know. You went traveling recently, I saw.
Yes, I did.
Where'd you
yeah,
go?
I went to Mexico.
How was that?
It was so lovely. I was
You
in.
were allowed to come back.
They let me back. Yeah, it was like the like wall stuff was all. I mean, the wall has been with us for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
But like I remember when I was there, it was really when it was like he was president, and now it was like okay, the wall conversation was beginning while I was in Cancun, and just like it was crazy to see all the Mexican like newspapers with the Cheeto on the front.
Yeah.
It was just like oh yeah, I mean everyone knows, everyone sees this guy and what he's doing. It's insane.
Well, I mean, how much support is there for? I mean, is anybody supportive of Trump in Mexico?
As far as I could tell, no, but I did admittedly have I mean I was there for like a gig and had to do like a workshop and a show, so I was mostly like around the tourist resorts and
you were
hotels
there
and stuff.
for improv stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't
Through
think-
UCB.
Yeah, it's like I don't think that Cancun would be my number one private destination for travel. But it was I mean, admittedly, it was very lovely.
I was there when I was 13.
Oh wow, what was it like when you were 13?
I don't even remember. I was on a cruise with
You're
my
drunk?
family.
You're so drunk all the time?
So fucked
Yeah,
up.
I can tell.
The
Yeah.
weed was great.
Hell yeah.
I was there on a cruise with my family. Went to Cozumel and Cancun,
Mm.
and I was 13. I remember in one of those, or maybe both those places, as soon as you dock and you get off, there's 50 kids trying to sell you bracelets.
Oh sure.
Those handmade bracelets.
Oh yeah.
And I bought a ton of them
Of course.
because you could buy like 10 or 20 for $1.
Yeah. And you're like,
So,
great.
like,
I'm
great.
gonna go back to school and I'm gonna be like the bracelet guy. Yeah,
me.
yeah.
And it still didn't do my popularity very well. But,
Sorry.
but
You just
I don't really remember it that much.
Yeah.
I mean, we just probably spent the day there and just walked
Yeah.
around or whatever.
I mean, you go there because it's stunningly beautiful beaches and you can be drunk most of the time pretty effortlessly.
Yeah.
So at 13, I imagine.
I was not drunk.
No.
I had not started drinking.
Yeah.
When did you start drinking?
Oh boy, I was lame. I grew up in Indiana, and I guess you could. I think people started drinking before I did, but I think I had my first drink like the summer after my senior year of high school.
Oh,
'Cause
after high school?
After high school, yeah. Like I made it pretty much all the way through high school.
Interesting.
I had graduated.
Was that like you were not drinking because you were like I don't need it, or
Yeah.
I have a purpose for not drinking. You guys are it's too popular. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
something
I mean,
different.
certainly there was something contrary about it. Like I do have a contrary streak, so I was like, "Pff, everybody's drinking. Nah, dog, don't need it. I'm fun. I'm lame. Wow, how
8 glasses of water.
Yeah, ooh, that's the cool thing. Wow. Yeah, pack animals. But no, just like, just I had enough friends who didn't drink, and then we would go do our own like instead of drinking, we'd like play Diet Coke baseball was our like crazy rebellion. Like you could go to like Sam's Club and get just like big cases of their diet soda,
Yeah.
and then if you chucked them at the other guy and they had a bat and you hit it and you hit the can right at the bottom, like you hit it right in the it'll shoot off like a rocket.
Oh.
But mostly it just splatters all over the guy that threw it at you, and that's
Yeah.
fun too.
Because you grew up in Indiana.
Indiana,
Was
yeah.
there a lot of stuff to do in Indiana?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Indianapolis, so it's not like some
Yeah.
hole, but it's still pretty sedate in terms of like thing. Not like growing up out here in New York or
Yeah.
even Chicago
What's the
or something.
culture like growing up in Indianapolis?
Pretty quiet, fairly conservative. Everyone's very nice though. Oh boy, you'll never meet like I don't know.
Nicer conservatives.
Yeah, everyone's very pleasant out there, more or
Yeah.
less. Just like I remember when I first moved here, like a summer during college. I went to, I think, like the Gristedes for the grocery, and I had my groceries, and the cashier lady didn't like ask me how my day was and chat and tell me all about like her and her like family. And I remember leaving and being like, well, that was brusque. and now I just like can't wait for it. Like if someone started talking to me while I was buying groceries, I'd be concerned. I'd think that they wanted something. And
That's what New York does.
yeah,
to you.
it's what it does. You know?
Oh well, is your whole family still back there?
Yeah, they're all still back.
And what are
there.
your siblings?
I got a
parents?
younger brother.
Younger brother.
Yeah. Oh, so fun fact: I'm the only one in about a month. I'm going to be the only person in my immediate family without a MD. Like my parents are both doctors, and my brother is graduating in May.
But can they take a suggestion of
No,
anything at all?
they can't.
And make something out of
They
it?
can't. You hear that? You hear that, fam? You're
not
garbage. You're
interviewing
garbage.
them.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not interviewing.
no,
them.
they're not. Yeah. Well,
Not interested.
How many podcasts do you? Oh, how many lives do you save? Cool. But like, how many podcasts were you on this week? Well, you better up your numbers.
Well, that's interesting. How does that? Does that? Do you recognize that? Is that like? Do you feel that?
Sometimes, like I felt it more in college. You know, like it's one of those things where like. Again, like I have the slight contrary streak. So like growing up, everyone was always like, "Oh, your parents are doctors. You're going to be a doctor too, Johnny, huh?" And my just default answer was like, "No way. I am my own person."
Get that alcohol. away
Yeah,
from
get
me.
no booze, no saving lives. Oh boy. But then you know, as I got older, I was like, I think I would have been fine. I would have enjoyed it, but you know, just did other stuff.
This is more fun.
Way more
And
fun, I
then
think.
it's less secure.
Yeah, it's very true.
But
Arguably, yeah.
It's a lot more fun, right?
I mean, yeah. Was there something else you'd wanted to do when you were younger?
Initially, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer.
Oh, sure. Oh,
Like,
yeah. I had
I'm
that
talking
phase.
like
Yeah.
10 years old or something.
Yeah.
And then you learn what's involved.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
go, oh, I don't want to do that. And then I wanted to draw.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I was always drawing, and I was like, oh. And I loved comic books, so I thought I'd be an artist of
Yeah.
some kind. And I went to art school for a couple of years in
cool.
Florida. And then that did not go well.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, maybe I'll be an actor. I always wanted to be an actor, but I was so shy that I was like, maybe this is it.
Yeah.
This could be it. This
Yeah.
could be my fork in the road.
Uh-huh.
And then I said, I'm going to move back to New York and commute into the city because I
Cool.
lived on Long Island.
Okay, yeah.
And that's what I did for 4 years. I commuted into the city and took classes and did improv.
Yeah.
And even tried stand up.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Stand up. What a whole different beast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then eventually moved to LA and
Right.
here I am.
Here you are. Yep. Back to the New
Living
York
the
crew.
dream.
Yep. Here it is. Hey,
I
man.
probably should have been a doctor.
You know, we all should have been a doctor. You know, but hey, barring a doctor, I think we're doing good work. you know?
So growing up with two doctors as parents,
Yeah.
were you pretty healthy growing up?
Oh, I
Or
was
was that part of like
immaculately
the
healthy.
not drinking thing too? I mean,
Not even. I think part of it was just like, no, like growing up, I was pretty healthy. Like I got strep throat every year, but then we got my tonsils taken out when I was like 20, and then I've been in general good health most of the time.
Okay.
I'm very comfortable around doctors too. Like I have friends who get really freaked out. It's like I got to go to the doctor, and I don't trust them, and all this stuff. I was like, but why do you need? They're doctors. They know just go to
Relax.
the doctor. They'll give you medicine. You'll be
yeah,
fine.
they'll let you borrow their car.
Yeah, they'll let you borrow your car, and they'll
Yeah.
scold you if you do something poorly. Like what? That's what a doctor does.
Give you an allowance.
Yeah, yeah, doctors are great, dude. Doctors will bail you out when you really need something. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. And because I have two doctors as parents, I've definitely at various stages in my life been people's like third tier health support. Like, you know, like I have friends call like, John, look, I can't get into a doctor, but like, what do you think about this? and just for them, like
through osmosis. Like
yeah, through osmosis, I had learned enough about like doctoring that like I would be able to diagnose or treat them in any fashion. Luckily, like Google and take an aspirin, and if it feels bad in the morning, you should probably go get it checked out. Is 95% of your
You
job.
did
when you're
Doc
a person.
Hollywood. You ever see that movie?
Oh, I did, yeah, with
like, "Give him a
Michael J.
Coke."
Fox. Oh yeah. Oh my God, what a movie, huh? Wait, so he crashes his car, right?
Small town.
In small
I
town,
don't remember where.
and then he's stuck being the doctor in
They
the
have
small
They have to
town.
wait for the part
Oh, for the car.
for the
Oh
car,
my
and then they
God.
find out he's a doctor, and there's only one lunatic doctor there, and something happens to him.
Right.
So now Michael J. Fox is forced to be a doctor.
The doctor in this small town. And he's a hotshot Hollywood
Hotshot
doc.
Hollywood doctor. Well, I
Yeah.
think he's a plastic surgeon even.
Oh, yeah.
And hot Julie Warner's there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she comes out of the water naked. And
Yep.
remember
Oh,
that
I remember.
part?
Oh, I remember that part.
Very inappropriate for, I think, a PG movie.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, yeah.
I was there with my mom in the movie theater.
Oh, man.
And I was like, oh, whoops.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Lots of, you can feel that awkwardness.
Oh,
between
yeah. That. Oh,
me
you
and
can
my
feel
mom.
that. Like, watch us both pretending the other person isn't here for like 10 seconds. Yeah. My parents both have no concern for like violence, like in film. Like, I mean, of course they don't want to like see somebody's spine get ripped out, but like, I think they're doctors, so I think they're pretty like safe to it. Like, it doesn't affect them in the same way.
Right.
So like,
blood, whatever.
yeah, it's like, well, whatever. The guy is shot. Like, I don't know, he'll be better or he won't.
GSW, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, easy. So like, I remember going to see like Die Hard with a Vengeance, and my brother couldn't have been older than like 5. And like I went to this small, tiny Christian private like elementary school, and so like I would go home, I would go back, and I would tell, he's like, oh yeah, what'd you do? Oh, I saw Die Hard with a Vengeance. Like, I'm not allowed to see PG-13 movies because I'm not 13 yet. What is your life? But nudity was just no go, which is weird because you'd think that they would have a healthy appreciation for the form, but
You would think so. Yeah, right, because they're doctors. And,
yeah, it's like, well, it's
I mean,
a naked person, but
well, just in general, people say, oh, it's not okay to see a boob.
Yeah.
But you can see things get shot up all the time.
yeah, you can see someone get shot in the chest, and that's fine, but
There's
what-
something backwards about it.
yeah, I agree.
But I still don't know if I had a child, would I let them see some titties?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess it would depend on how old they were, and I guess there's a line between like there's there's a line between like going out of your way to make sure your child will never see titties, and then also being like, oh, there's titty. Well, okay, just okay, just
it's artistic.
that's all right. Just don't go to see intentionally titty
and you
movies.
can say like, they don't all look like that.
Yeah, exactly. And
Don't get your hopes
everyone's beautiful. Like there's a variety.
Yeah.
Of,
Because I saw stuff young. We had cable, and I would sneak the Cinemax channels. and
Oh,
stuff
sure.
like that.
Oh, back when they were like fuzzy and like wavy.
Not only, those days, and also, I don't know, how old were you? 35 or something?
32. Yeah.
32. So I'm 41, right? So I'm a little older than you. So in my day, the cable was like a box, and it had several switches. And a cable that ran from the box to the TV.
Yeah.
So, and then there was another little lever or something that you can go into the middle and then down, because it would be like 3 levels of stations. So you get more, you know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
If I'm making-
No, it's
making
like
sense.
having a 1 through 10A, 1 through 10B, 1 through 10C or something.
Exactly. So I would be like, okay, I know which one's the Cinemax, and I watch it. Oh my God, they're in the women's jail. and
They're always in women's jail.
Oh my God, they're taking a shower, and then you hear footsteps and you go boop back to this other one. Ooh, very intense, very intense.
They were.
Then I had to hide Playboys,
Oh, sure.
all sorts of
I
stuff.
had to hide all that stuff.
And I was pretty young. I would say, I don't know how exactly.
Grew up in Long Island?
Elementary school.
Oh, wow.
I did some of that.
Yeah. I remember the first I think actual Playboy I ever saw. I was at my friend's house, and we were there. There was another buddy of mine and my friend, and his mom's uncle, his uncle, his mom's brother were there. He was in town, and so the uncle comes in. It's like, all right, boys, what can I get you? You need any snacks, any food, Playboy? And we're like, yeah, we'll have some snacks at the Playboy. And then an hour later, all right, snacks are here. We come out, and there's all these snacks, and then one single Playboy sitting on the table. And like his uncle and his mother just sitting there is like, okay, boys, here they are. And then we freeze. Like, we don't know what to do. Right. And so we're all like, who's going to get it? You going to get it? No, I'll get it. And so then we all go, and then we all pick up a snack, and then turn around, and then shake our heads at our like disappointment at ourselves, and we all make it to the back room, only having grabbed the snack, none of us had the, had the gall to do it, and we turn on each other immediately. Like, you were supposed to pick it up. It's your mom. No, of course I can't do it because it is my mom. And I was like, oh, well, I can't. And then eventually we're in there fighting. I think the uncle's like, all right, boys, you forgot something. And then like opens the door, just kind of like chucks the Playboy in like a grenade.
Do you think it was
and then like closes the door?
Them just like making fun of the kids?
Oh, they thought this was hilarious. Yeah. They thought this was so funny. Like in retrospect, like at the time it was like a life or death moment on our end. But like now I can only you can remember it and you're like, oh, that's right. This was very insane.
That's when Pamela Anderson changed my life.
Yeah,
made me a man.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you do you want kids someday?
I think so, yeah.
Would you do something similar?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know. Like I think if you preface that kind of stuff in ways and I don't know, prefacing pornography. I mean, I think if you have conversations about those kind of things with youths, they'll be receptive, and as long as you're like head on and straight about like what is and is not normal, like normal's a big word, but like I think if you were just feeding your child a steady diet of random pornography with no context, like I think that's probably bad, much the way that like feeding a child candy.
Basically how I got it.
Yeah.
They didn't feed it to me. I just kind of...
It's like devoured it as you found it, right? It's like, as long as, they know that that's not what everything looks like all the time, and, there's a lot more to, but,
It should.
There's a lot of, but if only ever.
And then I took a figure drawing class in art school.
Oh, wow.
Everything's different.
Yeah,
Everybody's
it's different. Yeah, it's different. It's different than you'd imagine.
Every model that came in looked very much different than the last model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had friends who've done that. They seem to enjoy it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you gotta be pretty comfortable.
Yeah, comfortable.
I'm not that comfortable.
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty comfortable in like an intimate scenario, but I also don't think I'd be comfortable enough to be like, hello, world, take a look at all of this.
Hello, artists.
Yes, hello, artists.
Be sure to get my good side, which is all of it.
Which is the whole thing. Oh, you're about to paint me in excruciatingly accurate detail? Bring it on. Nah.
Something to frame.
Yeah.
When did you start improvising?
When I was in high school, actually.
Okay.
I was a senior in high school.
In Indiana.
In Indiana, yeah.
Well, like in high school. Or
yeah.
Was
so there was like a comedy sports high school league, actually, and so I joined up that, and I did speech team, and they had like an improv event like once or twice a year, and so I'd always do those because I love those, and I did all the plays and stuff, and so I enjoyed that stuff. But then the comedy sports high school league I did all through high school, and then I went to college, and I joined the improv team my freshman year, and did that for 4 years.
Okay.
And
short form stuff.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah, like kind of long form in college, but you just did longs. Like I remember someone told me what the Herald was. Like a senior told me when I was a freshman. It's like, well, what's this Herald we're doing? I'm like, well, you do a scene, and then you do another scene, and then you do like another scene, and then at the end it's a Herald. And like I didn't know anything, but I knew that was not like correct, right? Like that's
vague.
Yeah, that's not good. Like we hedging towards it. But then I started taking classes at UCB during my summer of my junior year, I guess.
Where did you go to school?
Amherst College, out in Western Mass.
And so you stayed in New York or something?
Yeah, I picked up an internship in New York. I mean, mostly so that I could have an excuse to take classes at UCB. That's what I wanted to do.
Okay. And what did you study in college?
Well, I have a very stereotypical comedian's degree of Asian languages and civilizations. So, like Japanese lit.
Oh, basically. Okay. What made you take that?
Boy, I guess got really tired of Spanish mostly.
Okay.
Like in high school, you had to take 3 of one foreign language or 2 and 2. And so I just got tired of being like okay at Spanish and just a little. I would have just had to do so much work to get everything past a B+ level. I was like, can I just start on a new one? I'm gonna start over. And so I started taking Japanese in high school.
And how'd you do?
I liked it. It's good.
Do you still speak it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, say something.
おはようございます。どうですか？元気ですか？すごいね。一緒に食べましょうね。
Wow, what'd you say?
I said, hey, how you doing? Doing well? Okay, cool. Hey, let's go eat.
That's everything you learned.
Yeah, that's it. I really ran my fluency.
Have you been to Japan?
I have, yeah.
Me too. I went this last year.
Oh, wow.
Tokyo.
Oh, it's so fun.
It was, and the language is actually very beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a really, when I would hear people speak, I was like, oh, it sounds so
Yeah,
nice.
it's a very, yeah. Uh-huh.
That's so nice, though.
Yeah, the consonant vowel kind of, it sounds kind of like, it's very melodic. It can be.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I don't find like Chinese a particularly great language because it's so tonal. It's so tonal but atonal.
Sounds aggressive a little.
Yeah, I think so.
When I was in China also, and I'd hear them speak, I was like, okay, that sounds different than Japanese.
Yeah. I mean, I think Japanese probably sounds close to us because you can use like vocal inflection to while still being an incredibly like foreign kind of language, whereas in Chinese it's so tonally dependent that you can't like I don't know. It's just the whole color of the language you can't really you can use and you can't use. It's great. I don't know. I really enjoy it.
Where did you go in Japan?
Tokyo, Kyoto. I spent a summer learning Japanese in a suburb of Nagoya, which is like the city they built in between Tokyo and Kyoto, because they were just like, we need a city that's in between Tokyo and Kyoto, and that's the middle, so that's where the city is, and so they just.
What made you go there?
It was like It was like one of the cheaper, but also like all inclusive, like language schools that I could find. So like they had dorms, and you just show up at 9, and you take classes until 3 or 4.
Years? Okay.
Yeah, so summer before my junior year, I think I did that.
So you had already been speaking it a couple years, so you were probably pretty fluent at it.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and then that is what that really locked in a lot of the fundamental. Like I don't think I'll ever really fall below that level of fluency. I mean, the vocab's kind of gone, but when I go back, I get up to that level very quickly anymore. And then it takes me, like another week or so to like get up to where I was like in years after. But just,
Have you thought about moving there, living there?
I have. I tried to after, so I always knew I wanted to do comedy. I always wanted to, go do the provs and stuff. And so after I graduated college, I was like, oh, well, I'll go teach English in Japan for a year because it'll be hard to get out. Once I start doing the like comedy thing in New York, and that has proven correct. But my company went bankrupt like a week or two before I was supposed to ship out to Japan. It was it called Nova? I think it was like the big English teaching company in Japan, and a couple weeks before I was supposed to ship out, they called me and they're like, "Hey, don't come because you don't have a job anymore." I was like, "Oh no, what did I do?" It's like, "No, we don't exist." And don't like come here and try to find a job because we hired like 40 to 60% of all the English teachers in the country. And so now they're all scrambling. They're all here and scrambling for a job. So maybe this isn't the best time to like just go on a long vacation and try your luck,
Try Cancun.
Yeah, maybe.
Check out Cancun.
The Spanish came back, so, maybe that's it.
Wow, were you heartbroken?
I was pretty sad. I mean, I've become sadder now that I'm older because that's just a thing that I knew, like I intellectually knew then, like, I don't think I'll get a chance to do this again if I don't do it now. And so like I was aware enough to be like, that sounds like a thing that people wish they had done. So I will make a point to do it now before I have like other obligations.
Right.
And I tried and it didn't work. And like, I don't know, I did what I needed to do. And so like I feel worse about it now, I guess. Like I don't feel bad about it. It's just like, oh, wish that had worked out.
You're still pretty young.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
You could maybe go back. Do you have a girlfriend or anything here?
No.
Yeah, what's holding you down?
I don't know. Nothing.
Any kids?
No kids. No.
What the fuck?
I don't know. Right. I mean, I'm due. Like it's this year actually. People have started getting in touch with me. Like, hey, let's go to Japan this year. And I was like,
really?
Great. Yes. Correct. Let's.
Right,
Make a show. Make it happen.
I went to when I was there. I went to an open mic for people that spoke English.
Oh, in Tokyo?
In Japan, yeah.
Oh, at the there's one. Was it like there's like one or two like English speaking comedy places in the city, like they're.
This was on the second floor of like a coffee shop.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard of that place.
Go up the stairs. I was only there for a week or something, so I only. had like 1 or 2 opportunities to see things. But I was like, I'll check that out. What's gross is they still smoke in those places.
Places. Oh, God.
And I used to smoke, and now I can't stand it.
Oh, sure. I bet it's even more, brings up
rough.
just a lot more for you.
It's rough.
Yeah.
And then put on bad comedy on top of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But some of the people are Japanese trying out their English, and vice versa. Americans who live there and just want to
try stand up in Japanese.
Yeah, so it was interesting. But I only stayed for half the show because I couldn't stand the smoke.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, you guys are fine. I just gotta not be around.
Yeah, and you guys aren't that fine.
But no, if you're gonna ask me why I'm leaving, I'll tell you the smoke first, but don't like push it.
I traveled a lot this past year, and
what were you doing?
Running marathons.
Oh wow!
I went to all 7 continents.
Whoa, that's very impressive.
Thank you.
Wow.
I wanted to run full marathons on all 7, and then I got injured.
Oh.
And so I ran 2 fulls and 5 halves.
Oh, I think no one's gonna really blame you for.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
I mean, yeah.
But when I would travel, I'd try to see comedy. I'd always try to. That's like something I enjoy doing, seeing comedy in different places.
Yeah.
Stuff. Do you do that too?
I try. I don't go out. I don't travel as much. I don't know. I get stuck here in New York a lot. Like, I went to Mexico, and I've been to Japan, but I haven't gone many other. I guess this year, this year seems to be the year I'm traveling. Like, it seems like I'm going. I went there. I might be going to, London this summer, and then I might be going to Japan sometime, like maybe in the fall. So we're revving it up.
That's great.
32 years young.
Have you gone to London before?
I have. Yeah, back in college. Yeah.
That's cool. So you've traveled a lot.
Yeah, a decent amount.
That's pretty good. I've only done traveling the last few years. Or so.
Oh, cool.
Not very long at all.
That's
Can I take
7
that from you?
continents. Oh, sure. Yeah,
Okay.
probably thunking, making noise.
How do you like teaching?
I love it. It's
Do
great.
you?
Oh yeah, it's the best.
How long have you been teaching improv?
Oh man. Well, I guess I started coaching when I got on a Herald team at UCB, or like a little bit before, but it really kicks into real gear. Next year when you start being on a team. I've been teaching for 3.5, 4 years, and then maybe coaching for 6 to 7. Yeah, it seems about right.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. When you put it like that.
That's a while.
Yeah.
Do you want to be like an actor? Do you hope to get a TV show or something like that?
I think more like writing. Like, of course, you'd love to be in stuff that you do, but I think more like in stuff, like in a kind of like I was like Stephen Merchant, like I always like.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies. Yeah, I think it's like he writes stuff, and sure he's in stuff, and like he's even been the star of his own series, but like he's mostly like just making stuff.
Behind the scenes guy.
I think it's a good gig too, like, and then you also could just people know he does good work, and like if he wants to do something, he'd basically do it.
He's respected.
Yeah,
he's doing well. He's got a nice home, probably.
And probably got a nice house. Probably got a nice flat.
And the ladies.
Yeah.
Got the ladies. What kind of comedy do you like? There's a lot of UCB folk that ends up in
and comedy
and stuff.
All that stuff. All the time. Yeah. What do I like? Oh, I don't know. I like all kinds of things. I really love. Like currently, like I love Veep. Like I love just like very like dry, very smart kind of like all his stuff is great. In the Loop is maybe one of my favorite movies. Oh, it's
I've heard of it, but I didn't see
so good. UCB guy Zach Woods is in it, but also James Gandolfini, and the assistant from Veep is in. It's whatever. It's an amazing film. But yeah, like that kind of stuff. But then I also have like from when I was a kid, I guess, like a real big love of the kind of like just like absurd, like smart absurdism, I guess, like
Steve Martin or something.
Yeah, like love Steve Martin as a kid, and then like Chris Elliott. You ever seen his show? Like
Get on Board. Where is it?
Oh yeah, there was like Cabin Boy was his movie, and then he has this like I think it was an old Cinemax special or Showtime that was called FDR, a one man show.
Okay.
And so like it's like an hour-long special that's hosted by one of those old basketball announcers, and it's like this. The frame is we're about to see Chris Elliott's very famous one-man show about FDR that we all know and love finally on film, and so he does it, and like it starts out pretty normal and like shots of the audience and they're clapping, but things really start falling apart like real fast, and you like the show takes a tour to like that time after the White House got bombed. He got kidnapped by pirates and then got malaria on some deserted island, like, and then when they turn back to the audience, like halfway through, they're still laughing, but they're now just like cardboard cutouts of the audience that had been there in the first, like, and they never explain it, they never speak to it. It's just like, I don't know, it's beautiful.
Have you seen him in Schitt's Creek?
No, I haven't. How is it?
I've only seen the first episode, maybe first couple episodes. It's good. It's good. It was recommended. Check it out.
Check it out. That's good.
Eugene Levy's
He's so funny. He's
Catherine O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara is so amazing. Yeah.
They're so good.
Yeah.
And the guy that's Eugene Levy's son in it is his actual son.
Oh, that's
the guy,
cool.
He kind of developed the show.
Oh, awesome.
Wrote and developed
the show, and it's like, hey, Dad, will you be in my show? And he's like,
and can you get Catherine
O'Hara to do it? Yeah.
to play my mom.
Okay, all right.
I think this gets made.
Sure. Yeah, I bet you people show up for that show. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
What are you watching these days? You're Veep.
Veep. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be comedy, but what are you watching?
Oh, let's see.
Walking Dead just started back.
Oh yeah, Walking Dead is a show I never got into. Yeah, like I'm sure I'd love it, but it's just I know.
Well, you have something to look forward to.
Now I do. What have I been into a lot that I've loved? I just started watching Legion, which is surprisingly good.
Yes.
I just thought it was gonna be just like, oh, here's a show, but it's so good.
Yeah.
It's
on FX.
It's on FX.
Is making good
I thought it was like
content.
I thought it was like a Fox, just like a general Fox show. I was like, oh well, okay, so it's like a Fox show. It's like it's not gonna be able to do much because it's like on Fox, and like we're so fortunate with so many superhero shows on streaming and Netflix and all that it's like, oh well, I mean, what are they going to be able to do on Fox? But it's FX, and so it's a whole other thing, and there it's crazy.
Another level.
Whole nother level.
Next
level stuff.
So that's good. I bought Taboo.
Oh,
haven't seen it yet.
Taboo.
It's an FX show as well with Tom Hardy.
Oh, I like Tom Hardy.
Me too. That's why I was like, I'm just gonna buy it.
Yeah.
And I just watched Search Party. Have you seen that?
Oh, I watched the pilot of Search Party, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
It's really good. I binged it the other day.
Yeah.
John Reynolds is gonna do my podcast.
Oh, great.
And it's worth watching. I recommend it.
I absolutely should. I've been kind of deep diving on The Good Place.
Oh yes.
Oh my God.
Great.
Oh my goodness.
Ted Danson,
what a man, what a national treasure. And like you've seen the end, right? You've seen the final that moment.
Yep.
Like when he
I
just
didn't see it coming.
Oh, I didn't see it coming.
My girlfriend said she did.
Oh wow, your girlfriend's
she knows everything.
Apparently brilliant. But just like that turn and his smile and the laugh, you're just like, well, wow, Ted Danson, you're like we knew you were a national treasure before, but good God.
And you have great hair.
And what good hair. Oh, we should all be so lucky to have.
And handsome.
And married to what, Mary Steinberg?
Mary Steenburgen, right?
Yeah.
And she's great.
She's so good too. Yeah.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
A lot of good shows. And the guy, one of the producers, Michael Schur created the Good Place.
Yep.
And he's done Parks and Rec.
So many. Yeah.
Office.
Seemingly only does incredibly good work.
Why not?
Yeah, that's
and
good.
He plays I like that. I just learned that he played Mose on the Office.
That was Michael.
That was
That's
Michael
great.
Schur.
Yeah, why not? Sure.
But that's a dream job, isn't it? Don't you think?
I think
watch shows like New Girl, which I love.
Yeah,
and
New Girl's great. Yeah.
Good Place, Office. I go, oh man, that'd be great.
Yeah, totally.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So I, being in New York, the Good Place I really enjoyed because you know how like in the first scene they've got that photo on the wall of like the guy who's like, actually this guy got high and got us about 97% like right. That guy Noah, and he like was my roommate for a while. So really? I was like. I'd heard it was good, and then I was like, okay, well, I guess it's about the Good Place, whatever. And then I watch it, and I was like, oh, hi, bud, okay, all right. And then I like got significantly more serious about like watching the show.
So the guy, wait a minute.
And I think he's a writer on the show.
Okay, so because there's a guy in a frame,
in the picture frame,
picture frame that's never really talked.
Never really referenced after that.
Yeah,
one gag, but
I thought he would show up at some point.
No, I thought so too. I mean, I don't know.
It did not happen.
Maybe second season. He was busy writing, I guess.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Do you send stuff out? Do you have packets that you
Oh, yeah, packets or stuff, like all that stuff. It's just like, It's hard. It's hard, like, to get your... Well, sure, it's hard. It's a hard gig. But it's, like, it's amazing what kind of, like... It takes a while to learn a kind of... Discipline's a big word, but kind of like the discipline to do all of this work for a gig that 150 people are, applying for, and just, like, send it into a void and be like, okay, and, like, learning to be pretty zen about it,
It is hard.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff in New York. There's, late night shows and TV shows that are filming here and stuff like that.
Yeah. Embarrassment of riches, really. But An embarrassment of riches, really.
Embarrassment of riches. That's a good... Write that down.
Yeah, well,
it's a good title for a show.
Embarrassment. Hey, copyrighted, so don't take it.
From John Timothy and E.J. Scott.
Yeah, that's right. It's a joint venture, so back off.
Back off. So your last name's Timothy.
It is, yeah.
Mine's Scott.
Yeah. Hey, look at that.
Have you gotten shit because
oh my God,
last name is a first name?
People think I'm an idiot. Like I go, oh, you know this one.
Yeah.
You go to a restaurant, you go to the person up front, and like a reservation for two. Great. Last name, Timothy, and then the eye roll. Last name, please. And I'm like, yeah, I know my last name. Like I know what it is. I gave it to you.
Fitzgerald.
Yeah. What do you want? Thompson? Yeah, I'm not Timothy. Get out of here.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and my middle name's William, so I got a fistful of
J.W. William.
J.W. Timothy. Yeah, that's me.
And your brother, how much younger is he?
4 years.
You guys get along?
Yeah, we're very similar. Well, we're very similar and we're very different in certain ways. Like we have very similar temperaments and interests, and like dispositions. Like we agree about just about, I don't know, more or less everything. And like for Christmas, he's the easiest person to shop for, because I'm just like, well, what would I like? And I get it. And he's like, awesome! Do you see this on that website? Where I almost bought it for you. Like, yeah, I know. All right, great. Cool, man. It's very easy. But also, he's a doctor, and also he married his high school girlfriend.
No kidding.
Yeah. So like they started dating when he was, like 15 maybe. And then, like...
That does not often work out.
No. And so now, and so they seem very happy. They got married 2 years ago, and,
So you're really out. I mean, he's got his girlfriend.
He's got a wife.
Childhood sweetheart.
Yeah, graduate medical degree.
Really disappointing.
I know. Oh boy. I'm fine. I'm glad we're finally saying it out loud, because now I don't have to imagine it anymore. Now it's really.
Are your parents supportive about your choices?
Oh yeah, they're great.
Did they give you shit about like being a doctor?
No, they don't care. Anymore, they definitely. I mean, they never really cared, and they were never anything but super supportive. I mean, there were a couple years right out of college when I think I was not threatened is a big word, but strongly encouraged and offered financial support if I chose to go get some kind of graduate degree.
Gotcha.
It's like, wow, a law degree is really kind of the most useful thing you could always have. Have you ever heard of Law and Order, John? You could write for that? Oh, boy, they'd love it if you were a writer or lawyer, huh? Mm-hmm. Boy, and I mean, all kinds of tax breaks if you help pay for someone's college,
If you were a doctor, you could write for a medical show.
Yeah. Oh, boy, you like ER, huh? Okay, yeah.
I think I get it.
I get what you're saying, yeah. But, not anymore. They don't really
Have they seen you improvise?
Yeah, they have. They came. So when my movie, we had like a big screening this fall, and so they all flew out. They saw my show, and then we did that. Yeah, they watched my video. Well, was it 2 or 3 Christmases ago? I had some video with Improv Everywhere, where I dressed up like a pirate, and was on Central Park lake on a boat, kind of rowing around for a Disney thing. And my mom, God bless her, best cheerleader you can ever ask for. Like, it's Christmas dinner, we've all eaten, we're all hanging out, and she's like, all right, everybody, stop. We're watching Johnny's pirate video. And so then the 25 people at this Christmas dinner got wrestled into the living room to watch the 3.5 minute
How'd it go?
Man, big fan. Okay? Look, it killed. Okay, it killed. I mean, biased crowd, but
25 doctors.
25 doctors. Yeah, yeah. It's weird. I come from a family of 25 doctors, and I think So
that's funny.
Yeah, I mean, family, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
My parents saw me improvise a couple times.
Yeah.
they were like, the show after you was really good. I know I had an off show.
Thanks, but I mean, we could have just said the thing, Could have said, "Hey, good show, huh?"
Yeah, I don't invite them anymore.
Yeah, that'll do.
They make me nervous. I don't really invite people
to your impressions.
I know.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's okay. She's seen me improvise a lot of times, but if I don't know, it's weird to have like somebody new to see me improvise.
Yeah, it definitely puts a kind of weird pressure on.
Yeah.
Like I know when I have, like I don't particularly get nervous before shows anymore, but I do like kind of get, not in my head, but I definitely have to like pay attention when I see like students in the front row of shows. Like I'll be like, I'll step out. I'm like, all right, like, oh, I know you guys. Okay. Oh shit, what did I yell at you guys about this week? Like, okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Stay committed. Okay. Well, I better do that tonight then. Can't just be.
So that's funny that you feel that way because how many thousands of students have you had by now?
A bunch at this point. I guess if I teach 4 classes are 2 months, so that's 6 classes, and I teach 4 classes at a time, so that's like 24. Like 24 classes a year. Call it 22 or call it 20 for math, and then that's 16 classes. So that's 320 students a year. I've been doing this for 4 years, 3 years. So that's almost 1,000 students. Yeah.
Wow. Good math.
It's in the genes, I guess, right?
That's a lot of people. There's a lot of turnover in improv.
Yeah.
There's a lot of turnover.
There is, yeah.
I mean, like almost all my friends are improvisers.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I do love it because you meet so many people at interesting points in their life. I forget whose thing this was, but someone was saying that like they found that improv finds people at like transitional periods in their life a lot of times. So like if you ask a 101, like, so if you just ask them like, hey, who's like starting a new job or ending a job or getting out of a relationship or like just moved here, like you'd get a good chunk of the crowd finds it because it's like, well, because it attracts people who are trying something new or like trying to find like a way to deal with things or something.
Yeah.
And so you just end up meeting a lot of interesting people who kind of, even if they're not comedians, kind of just flow through the doors for like a couple months at a time. And
did you feel that way when you started?
No, I think I was pretty single-mindedly trying to do comedy at UCB. Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm looking for it wasn't like, oh, I'm looking for like a little hobby while I'm doing my New York thing. It's like, no, I made plans to get an apartment
UCB.
to move to New York.
I mean, improv just back in your high school days.
Oh, no, I think it was still even then. Like I, would do we had 4 school plays a year or whatever, right? And this was just like a 5th play. There's just like a 5th chance to do it.
Plays and stuff. Too.
Yeah, the plays and musicals and all that stuff.
You were interested in acting.
Yeah, I think so. Like I don't know if in high school I thought it was going to be the job, but I also don't think I had any other interest in anything else. So like if you'd asked me what I was going to be by the end of high school, I probably said, oh well, probably some kind of like actor or performer or something. I think
that's cool.
Yeah,
because with a family of doctors, it's hard to choose to be the black sheep.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I did that too.
Yeah.
Because my mom's a retired teacher, elementary school. My dad's a retired cop.
Oh wow.
My sister's a teacher.
Yeah.
My brother works at a bank.
Oh yeah, sure. Those are like
actor,
those are like jobs. Those are like those are like the jobs that are like in children's like learning books. Like right. A is for athlete, C is for cop, B is for banker. Like yeah.
Yeah, and it's sung that way too.
Yeah, there you go. ACB. It was a short-lived song series. Some say it was doomed off out of the gates, but
improv.
Yeah,
we use it all the time.
All the time. You can't get away from it.
How many shows are you doing now?
Let's see here. I'm doing. I got my weekly show, The Curfew, every Saturday at UCB. So I do that one, and then mostly that's like a random shows here and there, but mostly that's my improv performance anymore.
Okay.
It's mostly kind of like writing stuff anymore with like the rest of the time.
Do you write by yourself or partners?
I write some by myself, but like I wrote this a third party with my friend Patrick. We'd been on a sketch video team together, and we worked well together. So we wrote that movie together. Now we're like finishing that up. So it's now time to start talking about the next thing.
We do a sequel.
The fourth party, yeah, like the fourth, it'll blow people's mind. I mean, the demand was so high for the first one that it would be foolish to not capitalize on the 70 people we have who like the Facebook group. That's when you've got your baked in audience, you can't ignore them like that.
I mean, why would you?
I know, you'd be a fool. What a fool.
And you're in it too, right?
I'm in it, yeah.
Okay. You're the star?
I'm not the star, but I was... my part did keep becoming bigger and bigger as the filming went on, because it follows 5 different candidates, right? And like we've got one guy who's like the main candidate, and I'm like his kind of like rival. But in the first, like in the draft when we started shooting, I was like a pretty small part. Like I had like 1 or 2, scenes where I'd kind of be in the background, out, like being menacing, but that was about it. But then as like it kept going and we kept shooting, like an actor wouldn't show up. Or like, oh, we need to pick up this scene while we're here. And then I was always there because I was, the sound guy when I wasn't, acting. So like, okay, well, John, you stand in front and you just say this thing. And so then I just kept growing and like we went to Iowa to see the caucuses, and all of a sudden my character has an arc where he goes and joins the Iowa caucuses because... So
were you filming the real caucuses and stuff?
Yeah, we've got a scene where we're actually like snuck into one of the Iowa caucuses. And I'm trying to like convince people to vote for me.
So it's partly improvised in that way of like interaction with real people.
A little bit. That's the most interacting. It's not. Yeah, that's the most Bo-ratty it gets, and it's very minimal. Like I felt weird being like too obnoxious about that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I'm definitely in the back, being like, "Hey, he wants to come? No, okay."
Well, yeah, you're a pretty political guy.
Yeah, I think so. Like a little more, yeah.
I mean, it's hard not to be these days, right?
Yeah.
I went on your Facebook and you have some stuff up there.
Sure, totally, yeah.
Trump and all that.
That's that guy, yeah.
How you feeling?
Boy.
What'd your parents do? Do you know who they voted for?
I don't know.
You're afraid to ask them?
A little bit. I'm afraid to ask. Like I kind of assumed that, I don't know. I kind of assumed that they went one way, and then like conversations I had as we got closer and closer, I was like, wait, what? Hold. Nope. I just couldn't.
Fucking Mexicans.
Yeah. I was like, well, maybe they meant, aren't they so great, was the rest of that sentence. Maybe.
I cut him off.
I cut him off. That was on me. I was so rude there.
Fucking Mexicans are fantastic.
What a swell group is usually how that sentence ends. So, I mean, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But
there was a red flag at Thanksgiving, not last year, not 2016, but 2015, where I think it's Thanksgiving. My mom just says, Donald Trump, well, you know what? This is what he feels. And
that's the first step.
He's an outsider. He's not a politician. I like that. And I'm like, whoa. And thank God for my cousin, Ryan, who starts just listing all the things that Trump is horrible stuff that he's done and said.
Yeah, right.
Because other people were jumping on with my mom, like, oh, yeah.
Actually, drain the swamp.
Drain the swamp. Long Island's mostly conservative, I think.
Yeah, I think so, right.
And I say that because I was raised there, and there was tons of racism and homophobia and stuff like that. Yeah. So and there's still stuff there.
Yeah, Indiana, the same. Like, I think my parents would probably call themselves, and I think I've heard them, like they're fiscally conservative and socially liberal. So it is like, I think pretty sure they voted for Bush, and then I think my mom was an Obama person, So like, it is really kind of like a God only knows, what happened this last time. So.
Oh, it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
What about your brother?
He's a lot like me. So I'm sure he lives in Colorado and is, I think
he's making good choices.
He's doing the good work. Yeah.
Colorado. Okay. Well, have you visited Colorado?
I have. Yeah. I visited him this
What
fall.
part is he in?
He's in Denver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So nice. He's got a lot of fun stories about being a doctor in Colorado right now, just because the weed legalization.
Right.
He's got buddies who are basically weed doctor, and not like the sketchy California beach weed doctors, right. Like the professional like biologists and biochemists hired to be like the head of these enormous like nascent like growing operations where they're like, so his friends who kind of started out with him, some of them are just like more or less national experts at a lot of this biology because it was young people who had an interest and like could jump into this field when it was like just really opening up for like legitimate business.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
And I guess they will prescribe weed?
Yeah. So, well, I don't know.
Something like that?
Maybe. Well, I think this is more of his friends who have like, because he's in med school, he's got a lot of friends who have like science background. Like he studied like, what did he study? Neuroscience, I think, in undergraduate. Neuroscience and theater. You know, yeah,
those go together.
Yeah, that classic combo. And so, like, I think he has a lot of friends from there and from Denver who are getting into like the science of all that stuff. So
interesting.
Yeah, right.
Are you a pot guy?
Not really. I mean, again, sure, why not? But like when I was in Colorado, sure, let's live a life. But it's never a thing. I'm like, bro. Yeah, dude, straight leagues, you know. But here, I don't know. Like if it's around, sure, why not? But
yeah,
I'm never like I gotta call my guy. I don't have a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You?
I'm ordering a pizza.
Yes, a pizza.
Pizza
with extra
anchovies.
Greens.
Extra greens. No, I last smoked pot when I was 20.
Oh wow.
So it's been a long time.
That has been a while, yeah.
And I recently tried pot sugar.
Oh, I didn't know you can do it in sugar.
I was like, oh,
how do you do it? How do they get it into sugar?
I have no idea. But I was like, okay, and there were instructions like a half a teaspoon with something hot liquid, and I was like, okay, so I put in like some tea and I drank it, and I felt nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was no good
enough, or maybe you can't. Yeah.
I don't know. It's been so long since I've.
I mean, none of the things in that is actually particularly good for you. You know, like sugar's not great, let alone THC.
So many things bad for you.
Exactly. What? Oh, just a bundle of vices. I mean, I hope that like our kids. I mean, not your and my kids, but like were we individually? I don't know. Okay, so I wanted to use this podcast as an opportunity. No, like I'd hope that like the children of the future will look back on us and our children will look back on this and be like, what were you guys doing with all that sugar? Like I don't cook a lot and I don't care a lot about like health. Sorry guys. But like I think that is one of the things that the generation of tomorrow is going to be like, why were you guys drinking water with poison? Like what made you think that was a good idea? Same way we're like, why did you think that smoking while you were pregnant was like a chill thing to do? And you're like, I don't know, you know.
It's all addiction stuff.
Yeah.
It's all addictive things.
Yeah.
Do you have vices like that? Do you have any vices?
I mean, I say sugar because it is probably one of my minimal. It's one of my last vices. I don't have a lot. But I candy, man. I just can't.
Really?
Like not even like cakes and cupcakes. I don't care. But like chewy sprees, sweet tarts,
really?
Sour Patch Kids.
Real sweet.
Oh yeah, just like that tart. Just punch me in the mouth with it. That's it. I mean, I have so many. I'm sure. Yeah, I have a very Midwestern palate. You know, like no matter what the rest of my brain. You know, like it's amazing when you order a salad in Indiana, it is, you know, iceberg lettuce with like cheese and then like a half pear, ranch, bacon bits, like, you know, like cottage cheese, like it's an egg, yeah. It's just a different meat, like it shares very topical similarities to a salad you would order here, but it's just almost an entirely different beast.
Yeah. How do you like going back home to visit?
I enjoy it. Like, you know, I'll make fun of their salads and stuff, but it's a very lovely place to be from, I guess.
Okay. Are you comfortable going back? You see old friends there
that
never left and stuff?
Yeah, I've got friends who still live there, and they're fun to catch up with, and they're,
Do they get what you're doing?
Yeah. I mean, you know, I went to a huge high school. Like, it was like 3,600 kids, I guess. So you could the joy, it's like that, it's that old Gatsby quote. It's like, I love big parties. They're so much more intimate, right? So it's like, when your school is that big, you only really have to interact with people who you care to. And so like all my friends were theater friends and, band nerds and all just regular nerds, all those people.
Did you date back then?
Yeah. Yeah.
How were you a shy kid or?
It took me through middle school to figure out how to talk to. No, I mean I was always like kind of like the joker, right? Surprise, huh? Through like elementary school, because there were like 4 guys in my grade, and the other 2 were athletic. Or the 2 guys were athletic. One guy was the good speller. So I was like, all right, well, what's my thing? If spelling's taken, what's left?
You got the thimble.
Yeah, exactly. And so then I just had to make do with what I had. But no, after awkward, when it took a while to learn how do you meet new people? Because I'd gone to school with the same like 6 people for like 6 years of my growing up. So when I went to a different middle school, I just never had to make new friends really, or actually even deal with older kids, because we'd always been the oldest grade. Like we were the first grade, first second grade, first third grade. So I was a little stunted in some of those regards. But by the time I went to high school, I figured it out. I hope. Okay. Yeah. Oof, boy.
And you don't have a girlfriend. When was the last time you were in a relationship?
A couple years ago. I mean, date people. On and off in the intermediary, kind of like all around.
You date within the improv community?
Sometimes, happens, right? It happens, right? It's like who you meet, right? Yep. You'll date an improv person. You're like, no, it's too. Everyone, we all know each other. This person's just joking all the time. No, that's it. I'm dating a civilian. And then you date a civilian, and you're like, this person, I just want them to say something interesting. Why can't they tell a joke? And like,
they don't get bits.
They don't get funny bits. They don't understand. And then you just keep, bouncing back and forth.
Yeah. What are you looking for? You looking for love?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a thing that's, I don't know. I'm pretty practical in that regard, where it's like, I think anymore, I don't know if there's, the one, right? The one I think is maybe a little not my style, but I think that there is people that you can develop some kind of like lifelong partnership with, and figuring out what that looks like and who that person, what you can be for each other is, I think, a very interesting thing that I do want to try to figure out at some point in my life, Yeah.
Your parents have been together?
No. So, yeah, my parents got divorced when I was 12, 13, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, they're, and so now my mom's been dating her boyfriend for, they'll be mad I don't know this off the top of my 16 years, I guess. So like longer than my parents were married, actually.
So they're not married.
No, they're not married, just been dating.
Interesting.
So also, she's got no leg to stand on for like pressuring me on like, when are you going to get married? He's like, when are you going to get married? Oh, okay. When?
She's like,
well, yeah.
I don't need to do that again, I guess, right?
I think that's pretty much where they're at.
Part of it?
Yeah.
Dude, why'd your parents divorce? Any idea?
Yeah, I think more. I think that they were friends who maybe decided it was time to be married, if I had to guess. Like, it was like, okay, well, we're going to be married. And then I think they got married and like, I don't know. I don't know if after a while they were still like that into each other. I think they were fine being married. And then at a certain point, they just like, no, this isn't working out for us any longer. So they split it off.
And what about your dad?
My dad, he's been kind of dating someone, I guess basically since about, almost as long too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like they don't live together. And they never remarried either.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So he's living with somebody, you said?
No, they don't live together. Oh, but like she's in California and stuff a lot, so.
She's in California? Oh, they're in California.
She is, yeah. I don't know. She travels around a bunch, and so when he's in Indiana, yeah. So I think when they're in the same place, they are dating or something. Who knows?
That's been going on for a
long time. Yeah, boy.
Interesting. Well, that's pretty cash.
Yeah, straight cash, right? So like,
yeah, it's very cash.
And so I do hate pointing to like divorce as like this is a thing that affected me, and because I don't think it really has, but you can also look at that and then see that now I have not been married at 32, and I'm clearly not racing towards it. And then my brother ended up marrying the woman he was with. I'm sure we probably had those dispositions probably before. Like we are different people, but I'm sure that they probably like underlined some things that were already
already
there.
Therapy.
Yeah. I think it's good.
I did it today.
Oh yeah, mine's on Thursdays.
How long have you been doing that?
Oh boy, 2 years I think. 2 years? Yeah, I guess. I know. What a little baby. It's like I think I got it figured out. Nah. I mean, well, then I've been doing improv for 7 years, which is like a low grade therapy for some people.
Have you been feeling better going to therapy?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not one to open up about things of consequence, I guess. And so maybe even in this podcast, you can hear me slowing down to more consider my responses as we've gotten into more actual things about my life. But I think I'm, hey, here's the thing I've learned. You ready? You ready for my little therapy wisdom? Sharing yourself with someone does not mean that you're showing weakness. Do you know that? Do you know that?
Let me write this down.
Yeah, no, I had to figure that out. All right. Okay, listeners, let me tell you. I don't know, just like...
Is that what you're learning?
I think so. I mean, of course it's the thing. If you'd ask me, like, oh, do you think that sharing yourself with people and, like, being the first person to be vulnerable is, like, you giving up and showing weakness? I'm like, no, that's crazy. Come on. What are you talking about? But probably in practice, probably, in some fashion. Subconsciously. It's like, well, if I keep things close to my chest, y'all can't get me, like you can't hurt me, it's a poor way to go through life, it's tough.
It's a bad thing, but it's good that you're learning that stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
You'll be a better person for it.
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
If you ever find that partner, they'll appreciate that too.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right? Like figuring out how to get, also trying to figure out the difference between like what you want and what you need. Oh boy. Those are different things, too.
Get what you need. What's the difference there, do you think?
I think, so if we're going to armchair therapist here, I would say that, like, I think there's one of those, like, little pithy sayings, that I think a little trite, but I think it has made sense to me. That's like, people spend a lot of their time looking for, like, the love they knew in their childhood, right? And so, like for example, I was dating a woman, and for her, I think her father passed away when she was like 12 or 13, and she was like, okay, that's it. I guess I got to be the man of the house now. And like she's got a mother and a sister who's got some emotional issues, and so she really like would take on a lot of problems for her family, and that was like what love looked like in her family. And we're dating at some point, and then like she gets a call. And her sister is calling, and she's like sobbing. She's like, "I got detained. I'm in London." She was going for an au pair job, and instead of saying she was there for a vacation, she said she was going there for a job. And it was a little off the books, and it was like only for a month. So they were just like, it's
a different visa.
It's a different visa, and they're like, well, do you have anything that makes you more qualified than just someone here? And she's like, no. And so well, you can't come into the country then. Nope, turn around. And so the person I was dating, it was just like freaking out and like pacing around the kitchen, like I can't believe this. Okay, what are we gonna do? Oh my god, like freaking out. And I was, we were on watching the TV, and you turn it off. I was on the couch, and I go like, well, like, is there anything we can do right now? Like, she's safe. Like, they're figuring out the paperwork, and like they're handling it. And there's like, is there anything we can do right now? It's like, no. It's like, well, then, I mean, it's totally right to be upset, but like, like at a certain point, we should just like, figure out what we're gonna do, because like we can't do anything. So let's just be ready for like when we can do something. But it's not gonna do us any good to just sit here for 3 hours, like just spooling
nobody's hurt.
Exactly, nobody's hurt, like there's no disaster, like at worst we'll be the first people to pick her up when she gets back to the airport here, but just like right now we just got to wait for things to sort out. Apparently she thought that was very insensitive. And she told me later. At the time, she was like, okay, whatever. But, like, she told me later, she's like, oh, that really upset me. But
said the wrong thing.
To the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But I think that was an example of, like, and my parents, we're very, like, independent people in my family. So it's, like, a lot of, like, oh, I love you. But, like, not a lot of, like, taking on each other's problems to, like, solve it. It's like, no, you're an adult, you're a human, like, you take care of your problems, and if you need me, I'm here, I'm first one in line, but you got it. And so, like, I think I thought I was, like, going out on a ledge to, like, meet this person, like, to really be emotionally empathetic and, like, oh, look, we'll pick them up if they get back. But she saw that as me barely, like, registering the issues.
We should have sex. And
then baby, I know what'll chill you out. yeah. And so it's just, like, fascinating that, like, two people can see the exact same scenario and, like, see the exact same actions, and it's not what they know love looks like, and therefore are not seeing it in the exact same way.
Yeah, I experienced stuff like that with my girlfriend, and she's my longest relationship and my most intense and deepest and all that
How
stuff.
long?
So 9 years.
That's a long time.
And but same thing. We were raised differently, so we come at things differently.
Yep.
And now we have to go, oh, well, you're coming at it this way, I'm coming at it this way. Okay, how do we compromise, meet in the middle, or just let you do you, or if you need me, or finding that balance is like it's like a daily thing sometimes.
Sure, totally. Yeah, they make it seem, a lot of it seems like, well, you'll find someone and you'll be perfectly matched in every way, and then you'll just live your life just how you've been living it.
Right.
And
with extra sex.
With, like, with a little extra sex Playboy stuff. They don't put that in the Playboy. They don't put compromise and like advanced listening and like empathy. And
I met my girlfriend on Match.com.
Oh wow!
They didn't even put any of that on.
That wasn't on there. No.
No.
Yeah, well,
figure it out.
You gotta figure. Yeah. Oh boy, but I mean, I don't know. I think that's probably one of the most like that skill, that ability to identify like rationally and like, oh, that's a loaded word, but whatever. To be able to like identify a problem and like speak to it and like have a disagreement without taking it as like an attack on either party or from either party, I think is probably one of the most important skills you would need for like a long-term relationship.
Being respectful and feeling respected and
all that stuff. Which it's just so much more important, like in terms of like partner than
easier just being single.
Maybe,
It's probably just easier.
Probably, less work.
Build that wall around you.
Build that wall, just like ice everyone out. I mean, you get a lot better video games, let me tell you.
Right, are you a video game guy?
I do, yeah. Playing a lot of video games.
Are you a comic book guy too?
You'd think. I took a class on the graphic novel when I was in college and stuff. So, like, I like
writing it?
No, reading. It was just, like, reading them as literature. So, like, it was, like, Watchmen and Fun Home and, all kinds of other.
Did you see the play?
No, I missed it. I wanted to see it. Yeah.
Cool.
I was really sad I missed it. So that was very cool. But
that's a great class.
Yeah, it's great. It was it was a great class for second semester senior year because like it was good and still smart and very intelligent, but it was also like all my other friends were doing theses, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna care about. I don't think I'm ever gonna care about my scholarship in Japanese literature past this. So screw it. I'm taking comics class.
That was fun.
So good. Oh my god, it's great. But no, I didn't really grow up with them, really. Aside from like an occasional Archie or two from the comic book stand when we were on vacation.
It doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. It's not the same thing. Yeah, your face seems insulted that I even brought that up.
My friend brought that up the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it doesn't count.
Archie. I mean, he's got a TV show now.
Riverdale,
yeah.
Which is supposed to be like brooding.
I've heard it's like brooding and like mysterious and sexy, which seems anti.
Yeah.
The Archie brand.
Contrary to Archie.
Good for them,
Okay.
I guess.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are getting like a gritty reboot, so.
I'll say this: the trailer looks pretty good.
It doesn't look bad, right?
No.
Yeah.
It's sort of what it used to be. It was so campy. And
oh my goodness! Yeah. I remember feeling so betrayed when I learned how they made that TV show.
What do you mean? How they made?
So like it used to be an old Japanese TV show, like so all the fight scenes are all they just ripped him out of this Japanese TV show or series of TV shows, and so all the fighting and all that stuff with the putties and the monsters, and then they just filmed new scenes with American kids here to like stitch in and stitch together to make episodes with the given content that they had already. And so that's why the bad guys, their mouths move, but it's because they're dubbed. And I remember thinking, like, why is it only the bad guys who like in their moon base that they talk weird? And it's like, oh, it's because they're speaking Japanese.
This is the cheapest show ever made.
Oh, it's so cheap. And it made so many bazillion dollars.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
I mean, yeah. I mean, really, we could lampoon it, or we could figure out our own thing we can recycle and resell and make $1 bazillion and then go do whatever we wanted.
My brother's 30 years old, so he was into Power Rangers when he was a kid.
Yeah.
I'd never got into it.
Yeah,
but,
probably, yeah.
But I'm like, oh, the trailer looks good.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their thing growing up.
Oh, yeah.
What else did you like growing up?
Turtles, the Teenage Mutant Ninja
I had Turtles.
Yeah.
Turtles been around a long time. So
they have been, yeah.
I love the Turtles.
Yeah. Those old comics are crazy. Like the old Eastman and Laird one? Yeah. Oh, those are so intense.
Yeah, those are like a lot more violent.
They are. They're very dark. I remember, like, I really went down a rabbit hole on Turtles a little while ago, and I found, like, this collection of, like, the top 10 Turtles comics, whatever. And there was one that really stuck with me. It was, like, in the future, right? And I think it's Donatello. And he's like, okay, program, run me through it. And then it's like, he's like clearly old, and he's like going through like 80s New York and like seeing all the bad guys and like, ooh, yeah, fighting. He's like, oh, okay, this was a crazy time. And then like the other three turtles kind of step in the program, and like he freaks out. He's like, stop program. And then it like locks in on his eye, and there's like one single tear, and he's like, never show me them again. And so like, he's the last one. Like, something happens in the Turtleverse where he's the last turtle.
Wow. Is that in the comics? Or
that was in the comics. Yeah, that was like, and nuts.
That's pretty dark.
There was like the Turtleverse. Did you ever? What was that? What was the turtle? Oh my God! Like the crossover cartoon movie that they had like 4 or 5 years ago, where it was like the current turtle.
Animated?
Yeah. Oh my God, it was insane.
Really?
Like, there was the current turtles, and then and then Shredder develops a portal, whatever, and then he goes to a different part of the Turtleverse. Oh, by the way, there's a Turtleverse.
Right. Like Spider-Verse, like Spider-Man. Okay.
And so then he ends up in like the 80s turtle cartoon, and he's so upset because the 80s Shredder is an idiot, and like so are Bebop and Rocksteady, and he basically kind of like makes them his toadies. And like the current turtles also hate the 80s turtles because they're just always like eating pizza and like making jokes and being just like big old goofs. And like, guys, can we get it together? We have to fight. Focus, boys.
ADD, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And so then they eventually, the evil Shredder from the present one decides he has to go back to Turtle Prime, the Eastman and Laird black and white comics, to destroy the turtles once and for all. Because if he can destroy them there, they're destroyed throughout the Turtleverse.
Interesting.
Isn't that crazy? And so then there's
a movie?
Yeah, it's an animated movie.
I'll have to look at that.
It's surprisingly like intense for like what could just be like a little fun little John.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's great.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, check it out. Man.
Well, hey, John.
Hey, man.
It's good talking with
It's
you.
good talking with you too, dude.
We'll wrap it up.
Okay, sure.
You want to plug anything?
Sure. Hey, check the third party. Go check it out. Thirdparty.tv. Go check it out. Come go see the Curfew every Saturday, 7:30. UCB Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
And then
take you as a teacher.
Yes, take my classes. Yeah, do that. I'll yell at you in the nicest way possible.
You yelled at me in the nicest way possible.
Oh, good. See, that's what I want to hear. See, that's that kind of sterling recommendation could be your future.
Recently there was a controversy with UCB grades.
Oh yeah.
Did you catch on to that?
I did. Yeah. Oh, I was ground zero. Yeah.
What's your take on all that stuff? I didn't think it was a big deal.
I didn't think it was a big deal either.
Blown out of proportion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of high-functioning people. I mean, the funny thing is that no one gave a shit in Los Angeles. Like literally, like the system broke because it was New York people crashed the system trying to find their grades. And I just think that very much speaks to the different cultures in both the city and probably like the theaters too. Because it's just like, New York people, neurotic people, high functioning people, very used to like getting, what they need and what they want and what they want to know. I don't know. Like, I think it is silly that like it's an A and a B. That I think gives people willies, and like it's not what it means. It was just like the shorthand that had been passed down from when there were like 60 students, in the day, and they just needed some gradation. So, whatever.
I get it. That's cool. You gave me a B. I'm fine with
it. Good. I think so. Most people get B's.
I'm cool, man. I'm
good.
Cool.
Chill.
Well, hey, man, thanks a lot. It was really good talking with you.
Good talking to you too, man.
I like bonding.
I know. This is fun.
Instead of just like teacher-student relationship.
I agree. It's nice. I think it's one of the nice things. You get to meet people.
Yes.
And people are people. People are. They might be like, I don't know. You might meet them in very specific circumstances, but then they've got a whole varied life outside where they're living and doing all kinds of things.
Yep. I'm interviewing all my UCB teachers.
Oh yeah. Who else?
I had James Dwyer here.
Oh, that's great.
And Zach Willis will do it.
Oh, I love these people.
Yeah.
I'm doing trivia with James Dwyer tomorrow.
Tell him I say hey.
I will. I hope we win. I don't know. I guess we'll know by the time this comes out.
What's that?
Whether we won trivia tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Or whether I say hi or not. Well, I guess we have that too. Yeah.
This will come out in a couple weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So this trivia is long solved by the time we get to it.
Perfect.
Cool, man.
Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
Be well.
Thank you. You too.
UCB.
Yay.
Do they have a motto?
Don't think.
Don't think is.
Which is, it's a misnomer though. You have to think a lot.
A lot.
I think I'll do a lot of thinking actually.
Don't think about it. Don't think about how much you think.
Yes. Yeah, that's probably the answer. So don't think about the thinking, but like think though,
Yeah,
but that's hard to sell.
Consider.
Consider is probably the next.
Consider.
Yeah.
All right, I should work that.
Yeah.
All right, John. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
There you go, folks. That was my talk with John Timothy. Thanks so much, John. Good talking with you. Hope you're doing well. One more time for plugs. At EJ Scott on Twitter, at EJ Podcast on Twitter, at EJ Scott1106 on Instagram. Running Blind documentary on iTunes, Google Play, Amazon for just $2 or $3. Be inspired for $2 or $3, folks. EJScott.com is my website. Crowdrise.com/7on7 for charities. Please give just a little, even just a little. It'll mean something. And there you go. And we will see you next time. Thanks for listening. Go subscribe on iTunes. I'm on iHeartRadio now. You can listen there. And check out my past podcasts and my future ones. Thanks so much.